It's Tuesday, June 18th, and I'm your host, Paula Hersey. On Barnstable Today, we welcome the new Barnstable Police Deputy Chief to the studio. Get ready to run for local office with the town clerk, and get ready to party this week with the Barnstable Senior Center. Now for a look at municipal and legislative notes. Congratulations to Channel 18 station manager Sarah Beal for graduating from Leadership Cape Cod. Sarah participated in the 5-month, 14-session program, which covered topics such as the Cape economy, government, healthcare, media, environment, and more. The participants in Leadership Cape Cod 2019 were selected by the Board of Directors of the Community Leadership Institute of Cape Cod and the Islands. Selection was based on completed application and personal interviews. Preference was given to candidates who, in addition to their potential for leadership, contributed to the overall diversity and strength of the class. It is imperative that participants made the time and had the resources to commit to this program, as well as future community service. Congratulations, Sarah. What are the duties and responsibilities of a deputy police chief? Filling in for Chief Sonnabend is the new Deputy Chief, Mark Cabral. As promised on Monday's show, introducing Deputy Chief Mark Cabral. Mark, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Congratulations on your promotion. Well deserved.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm happy to be here. It's a big professional and lifestyle change for me, and I'm looking forward to just diving right in and getting my hands dirty, seeing how I can help out.
Sure. So let's talk first. What is the Deputy Chief position? There's 2 of them in Barnstable Police Department. What are those 2 positions? How do they work in the hierarchy?
Absolutely. So basically an RPD of roughly 120 sworn officers. You have the chief at the very top, and then you have 2 deputy chiefs. And one is your Field Services Bureau, which is basically like your patrol operations, and that is my role. And then the other is more of an executive services deputy chief. And that on that side, it would be overseeing the detective end of the building, hiring, finance, policy making, all that other stuff that you could argue is maybe the less exciting stuff. At least I would. So I'm very happy to be the shift commander for the patrol operations side of it, the Field Services Bureau, and that's kind of where my roots are, so I think that I'll adapt well there.
Okay. And how did you get started in the service in the police department?
Well, going back, right back to high school, I was a Barnstable High kid, and I kind of figured it out right around graduation time that this is the route I wanted to go. So I went right into 4 Cs. Did a couple of years there, had a few regular jobs around town, and then I got on with the Yarmouth Police Department as a reserve officer back in like 2000. So I worked with them for about 1.5 years, which is just part-time, kind of watching the cell block. You get to go out on the road a little bit here and there, but just kind of learning what the job's about. And then I got hired full-time with Barnstable in 2002.
Wow. And your position with Barnstable for the last 8 years has been the midnight shift.
Right. I got promoted back in early '02, February of '02, as a sergeant. I worked through a couple of different shifts as a sergeant, and then settled in on the midnight shift. I was there maybe 3.5 years, and then was promoted to lieutenant. And my full almost 4 years as a lieutenant were strictly running the midnight shift. And then I started taking on a lot of other administrative roles, but the main day-to-day gig was making sure that anything going on police-wise and town of Barnstable-wise, really, during those overnight hours while everyone's sleeping, I had to have a good handle on all of that.
Wow. And I know you handled the dispatch change as well.
Yes. We've met before, and I've been here speaking about the dispatch end of it.
Right.
So I think now, being off at midnights and being around during the day, I'll have a little better opportunity schedule-wise to attend all the meetings and all the planning and training and everything else that comes along with that. I won't be stressing my schedule to the max.
Right.
Right.
And talk about that schedule change. When I was going to college, I actually worked a midnight to 7 shift, and going back to like daytime is definitely a paradigm shift for you, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's a big change, and midnights is one of those things where some guys just do it well and kind of like get used to the bad sleep. It might take a few years off the back end of my life, I'm sure.
Right.
And then other guys just can't handle it. I was one of those that the schedule worked for me. I've got 3 young boys, right. And you might think, oh, that's horrible, but in reality, I don't miss anything. I don't miss any school event. I just miss some sleep here and there. Right. But I'm able to get to all that stuff. So I got to weigh the balance now in the change.
Right.
and make sure I can still hit everything.
And what are some of the initiatives that you're looking at, having been in different positions within the police department, you have some ideas of how field services really should operate. What are some of those initiatives that are rolling around in your head right now?
Absolutely. So we have a lot of specialization within the PD. We have a lot of specialized units. And really over the last probably 10 or so years that we've been creating these units and putting these extra units out there, I don't think we've been as careful to backfill the roots of the police department, which is the patrol force. So we really got to get that staffing back up, and then with the staffing up, then we can really focus on the roles of every single person instead of asking, a sergeant who is a specialty like a traffic supervisor, like on 5 minutes notice, hey, we're short over here on patrol, can you just come do this for your next 8 hours?
Right.
I'm sure that sergeant had plenty that he had planned to do that day. Right. So it's really one of the biggest hurdles we have right now is we're going to have to get our staffing up. And that's not just at the supervisory level, but at the patrol level, because as we grab people for those other units, the shifts run short.
Right.
And as you know, we're now in that part of the year where it's very, very busy, and we need extra officers here, we need them there. There's a lot going on downtown, Main Street, the Village Green, so we got to be everywhere, and we have less people to do it with. So that's the biggest thing. The biggest challenge we're facing right now is hiring, getting some more staff on, and getting leveled out.
Right, and the chief has talked about that. The attrition over the years of retirements, especially,
Yes.
Have really decimated the full force strength that you've had.
Yes.
Now that the training will be on Cape, do you think that will help maybe fill those positions a little sooner than you have when you had to train them off Cape?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. It's not a matter of just like somebody might think, oh, well, they're saving 20 minutes versus driving to Plymouth. It's not really that. It's
Right.
that Plymouth is full, Randolph is full. Then you're talking, we don't even go out to the western part of the state to train because it's not
Right.
feasible. But to have 40 or so or whatever their attendance is going to be available right here with us as a priority, if by some stroke of luck we get enough great candidates that we can hire a large group, we actually have somewhere to put them. We have been limited in the past. So the last time I think we hired a big group of 8 to 10, we could only put 4 in, and then the other ones had to wait like 7 months.
Right.
And that doesn't help us, obviously.
Right. And luckily, the community service officers, it seems like you have a ready pool of young officers
Yes.
almost in training. They're not training but a couple of them for last year actually made the force this year, which has been
Yeah.
fantastic to see.
And I really do see the benefits of that program by the time they get to me. Because remember, with my hours of midnight to 8, I don't really know them all that well because
Right.
they're out there in completely opposite hours. But by the time they get into training at the PD and they land on my shift, I say, wow, this guy has a radio ear, which usually takes people a long time to acquire.
Right.
So they could have a conversation like this and still kind of know what's going on and understand what's going on, which takes, for some people, a long, long time. But
Right.
these guys come from the CSO program. They know how to talk to people at all different levels. They know the police jargon. They know our mission. It really helps with their development as an officer. So we love to grab quality candidates from that program.
That's fantastic.
Yep.
And final question for you. Your first pretty much day on the new job. You're filling in for the chief.
Yes.
You got a big agenda for the next week or so?
Oh yeah. My phone is full, and my phone's been melting since about Tuesday afternoon, by the way. But yeah, from here I'm filling in for the chief at a management meeting, and then I'm right back over to BCHMCPS, the Old Hyannis East
Yep.
Elementary, for the final dismissal. So
Yep.
I'll be there to clap out the 3rd grade class and then see the
Right.
kids on their way, and it just keeps going after that.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Mark, and
Okay.
congratulations again.
Thank you, Paula. Thank you.
Town Council, School Committee, and the Housing Authority. Are you ready to make a difference? Candidates Night is this week, and Town Clerk Ann Quirk has the information if you are planning on running for office. Note that you will need 150 certified signatures for a Town Council ballot position. Your town needs you. It's Candidates Night coming up on June 19th. With me today, Town Clerk Ann Clerk, to get you all the information that you need to run for office here in the town of Barnstable. Ann, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So this is an exciting time of the year. We have elections for locals, school committee, town council, and the housing authority.
Isn't it wonderful?
It is wonderful, and I hope that there's lots of people who want to get involved in their town government. It's important, and you can really affect change at a local level.
Absolutely. This is where your vote counts.
Right.
If you get out and vote for this is where your vote really counts, because we have a very poor turnout, unfortunately, for local elections.
Right.
So we still have to be there all day from
Right.
7 in the morning till 8 at night, but the results are very small usually. But this is where they can make a difference. And if they really want to get involved in their local government, take out papers, take out nomination papers, and become a candidate.
Right, so let's start at the beginning. Nomination papers. So this whole candidate piece, there's some rules and regulations to follow. So let's walk us through the process.
Sure. First of all, you have to have campaign finance. So we give you a packet on campaign finance. It can be done online, or you can do it by hand and turn it into us. But there are rules and regulations that follow anyone running for office, whether it be at a state level, a federal level, or a local level. And at a local level, you still have to fill out those forms. It's just to be aware of how much you're spending and how much you're getting from other people to spend, and it's just making sure that everything lines up.
Right, and it's important in this day and age to be transparent with your finances if you're running for office. That's a very important
Very
piece.
important, and it does go up online.
Right.
Everyone's campaign finance numbers are online, and anyone can see them. They're on the town website. But we have to do that.
Okay, so candidates night, you're gonna, talk to the candidates about a lot of the things that they'll need to understand to, number one, take out papers and to actually run for office. So what's this taking out papers?
Well, you have to have nomination papers filled out in order for you to run for office. Okay. So again, it doesn't matter what level that you're running on. You have to get the voters in your area to sign on the dotted line that they want to see you there in that office. And we have to then, in our office, we have to go in and we have to certify that those are voters in the town of Barnstable. Okay. And for someone like a town councilor, it has to be within their precinct. So we have to verify that you're in their precinct first and foremost before we can actually certify that. So that takes us to the next step, where if it's townwide, you need 125 good signatures. If it is precinct-wide, like the town council seats, you need 50 good signatures.
Okay, and good signatures. We were having this conversation before we started the show. Number one, your address. You don't live in a post office box, so that's not your address, right?
Correct, correct.
And what about those illegible addresses?
If we can't read the handwriting and we can't, the name, and we can't read the address, I can't certify it. So I have to be able to read at least something of that. The other thing we run into is we have a lot of juniors, seniors, thirds, and so forth in this town. If you don't put down that you're a junior, and I have two people with the same name at the same address, I can't certify it.
Right.
I have to know which one you are.
So when we talk about candidates, do you need special qualifications or special things that you have to do before you go out and get those signatures?
You have to be a registered voter in the town of Barnstable.
Okay.
That's all you have to be.
Okay.
And if you have the wherewithal and the gumption to go ahead and go forward, please come and see us, because we need people to run for office. And we need people to be involved in our town government.
Right.
And this is where everything happens that affects our day-to-day lives.
Right. And there are some kind of rules around getting signatures too. We've seen some I don't want to say shady, but you want to make sure you're following the rules. What are those rules, Ann?
The rules are you cannot come into town hall and get signatures. Town hall is kind of like a sacred area where you can't ask for signatures. People are here to do business with the town, and not to have someone standing there trying to get their signature. You can stand out in front of a post office, or you can stand on a sidewalk somewhere, or in front of one of the grocery stores, or most of them are most willing to let you stand out there and gather signatures. It's, and you have to be careful if you do have signage and things like that. We ask you to be respectful of people's properties and respectful of the town property. The biggest problem we have with signage is that it goes up on rotaries. And we ask that no one do that, and it's an ask for safety purposes. Because people get confused enough with our rotaries. Summer's coming,
Right.
and they do get confused, and then you have a whole bunch of signs, and you can't see where you're supposed to go. It really is tough. We ask you to not use the rotaries.
Right. So town hall, but other town properties, I know I've noticed that Saturday morning transfer station seems to be a popular spot for candidates.
Very popular, and transfer station folks are really good about it. As long as you're not impeding anyone's access, then they usually have no problem with you standing out there getting signatures. Now, I will say, you cannot do that. You cannot impede anyone's access. So
Right.
you have to be very careful of that, but yeah.
Okay. And this candidates night, when is it, and do they need to sign up for it?
No, please just show up. It's on the 19th at 6 o'clock, and we're going to be in the third floor of Town Hall, 367 Main Street. We're going to be in the Planning and Development Conference Room. And hopefully I'll see a lot of folks. I'll see some new faces, and we'll go over what you need, and it doesn't take long.
Doesn't take long. Your town needs you.
Your town definitely needs you.
Thanks so much, Ann.
Thank you.
20 years ago, the Barnstable Senior Center opened their doors to the new Hyannis facility on Falmouth Road. Today, the Barnstable Adult Community Center has a name change to reflect the evolution of an age-friendly community. Director Madeline Noonan has a party invitation. Come celebrate the accomplishments of the past and be a part of the bright future. 20 years is a milestone in any type of business or organization, but 20 years, Barnstable Senior Center is celebrating, a couple of weeks from now, Maddie. This is really one of those events that people don't want to miss.
Oh, definitely don't want to miss this one. Yeah.
So let's back up a little bit. 20 years as the Barnstable Senior Center. You will be celebrating basically the month of June and through this year. But tell us a little bit about how the Senior Center and Barnstable Council on Aging got started and where we are today.
Yeah, it's interesting talking about, sort of such a milestone, 20 years being a celebration. And I kind of think every day is like a celebration for us because we're celebrating what it means to grow older and the potential that that has in people's lives, and ensuring that our services are helping to support and enable all of our residents as they're getting older to continue to thrive in the community and live independently for as long as they can. And I think that understanding is sort of where we, originated. It was an understanding on the part of communities that, people are living longer, and that's a good thing. And we should be doing all that we can at the community level to support people to continue to be active in the community, civically, physically, mentally, socially. All of those things are so important to ensure successful aging. And so our role at the Senior Center, we're celebrating 20 years since we first opened the doors of the facility that we are presently in. But it's important to remember that the services have been provided for long before that. But we just wanted a good reason to have a good party and really celebrate not just the accomplishments of where we've come from, but also where we're going, and all of the potential and excitement that the future holds for us and our community. And I think one of the most rewarding things for myself, the staff, is the commitment that we have with the boards, the Council on Aging and the Friends of the Barnstable Council on Aging, working together, that there's a recognition of the value and importance of the work that we do in the community, and also by the town. The Town Council has been extremely supportive of our programs and services, and helping us to grow over the past 2 decades. So it's interesting when we look back. We've been taking a lot of trips down memory lane, looking at old photographs, even prior to us moving into our current facility, when there was the original Senior Center, actually not too far from here, right next door to Town Hall. And just, it's incredible when you kind of look at the trajectory that we've been on, and how we've never just kind of said, okay, we're good right now. We've always been looking to progress. Even when the senior centre, as it currently is, first opened the doors in June 1999, we started with one level. But within a decade, we had expanded our space to include the garden level. So we have 2 floors of programming space that we really have worked, very creatively to try and maximize the use of that space in terms of the programs that we offer, to ensure that our programs are becoming, as diverse, as the population that we serve. So, we don't want to be the senior centre that just does bingo,
Right.
or bridge or whatever it might be, while recognizing that all of those things are important, that we want to be responsive to what the needs are, but we also understand that, what it means to grow old now is not what it was even 10, 20 years ago. And people, want to continue to be very active, whether it's through volunteering, through participating in wellness programs. It might be something like learning a new language, or one of the things we've talked about, which is one of our new trends, which is, ukulele classes. So all of these great things that we're seeing and being able to provide opportunities. But above everything else, I think our value in the community is that we're a place of connection, and we're always going to be about that. There's such a concern about the negative impacts of social isolation among older people, when people retire, when they lose their spouse or they're far away from family. The importance of having social connections is critical to healthy aging. And so we are a place where we connect people, but also to programs and services. And, for us, this opportunity is a time to reflect on all that we've done and everywhere that we're going as well. And I got to tell you, we've been saying a little bit lately at the senior centre, the future's so bright, we got to wear shades.
I love it. And there's a huge party. The party. I mean, this is going to be something that will celebrate all of those milestones throughout the years, as well as looking forward to that bright future.
Yeah.
Tell folks what they can expect. This is a public party.
It is. This is a community party, and we invite everybody in the community. You don't have to be any specific age to come. As you know, a few months ago we started doing evening program for adults of all ages, and a big part of our growth and also our evolution is, sort of looking at the changing demographics of our older population. As part of that, one of the big changes that we're doing, we're celebrating the past 2 decades where we've been as the Barnstable Senior Centre, but this is a celebration of past accomplishments, but it's also a welcome to our growth in terms of being more inclusive and representative of the people that we serve. So we're excited to announce publicly our name change to the Barnstable Adult Community Centre. A lot of people are excited to celebrate that, and we're excited. We've been working towards this for some time. We're also, the Council on Aging, so, we're going to be celebrating the fact that the Council on Aging will continue to do the important work in the community. And also, we're going to be revealing our new logo, which a lot of people are excited. There's been a committee that's been working on that with the graphic designer. So we've gotten a sneak peek, and so far the response we've gotten has been universally embraced. So we're really excited to share that, publicly and officially announce our name change and some other plans for the future in terms of sort of going beyond the walls of the centre and looking at our community as a whole, and how the town of Barnstable can ensure that we are working actively and consciously to become as age-friendly as possible, so that Barnstable as a town is a great place to grow up and grow old. And we talk a lot about intergenerational, the importance of intergenerational connection, and that's something that's alive and well in the town, so we're going to be celebrating that. It's just going to be a whole, I don't know, there's just so much to celebrate. I can't even sleep at night, I'm so excited about this.
So when is it?
It is June 21st. We're going to be starting things off around noontime. When I mentioned the ukulele, we're really excited because our ukulele classes are going to be doing a performance, which is great that we get to see sort of our homegrown talent at the centre do a wonderful, uplifting, I don't know if there's a more cheerful, uplifting instrument than the ukulele, so it's going to get everybody in a great mood. We're going to have a cookout. The Breakaway X-Grill is going to be on site, so we're going to do a good old-fashioned, cookout with some wonderful food. We have 4 C's ice cream that's going to be there. We also have a photo booth so that we can capture all of these priceless memories, and Bart Wiseman is going to be there to do some entertainment as well. So it's going to be wonderful, and I really want to acknowledge the support of the Friends of the Barnstable Council on Aging. parties don't come cheap.
Right.
It takes a lot of effort to put it together, and our friends really understood that it's important to, you know, celebrate important like milestones like this. So we wouldn't have been able to do it without their support. So that allows us to offer this event free of charge. So all that we're asking people to do is, if they know they're planning to come, to give us a heads up, call us at 508-862-4750. At least let us know so we can be prepared, you know, with enough food for everybody. But it's going to be a lot of fun. And wear your shades.
And wear your shades, and lots of surprises there too.
Yes.
So there'll be all sorts of things that'll be announced, and people will, you know, have an opportunity to reminisce about some of the years past. And
Oh,
then,
absolutely.
like you said, your future is bright.
Yeah, and it's important for us to kind of reminisce and, you know, bring everybody together and really talk about, you know, just the role that we play and how it's become more and more important. I also do want to mention, anybody who's driven by the Senior Centre, soon to be Barnstable Adult Community Centre lately, hopefully you've noticed how awesome our grounds look. It's the visual impact now when you come to the building or when you drive by on 28. It's people are commenting all the time, and I really want to extend a huge thanks to the DPW, specifically our Structures and Grounds department, for all the work that they've done to make it look. And they've only just begun. I know there's a lot more to come. So, yeah.
That's fantastic. June 21st, 12 to 2:30 p.m.
Be there or
Community
be
cookout.
square.
Be there or be square. Excellent. Thanks so much, Maddie.
Thanks, Paula.
Up next, things to do, places to go, and people to meet. Be a Beach Buddy volunteer. Town Councilor Britt Biedenbanner is organizing a group of hardy environmentalists to meet on Sundays at 8 a.m., hence the hardy requirement, to do trash pickup and cleanup of our lovely beaches, Craigville, Covels, and the Long Beach Conservation Beach on rotating basis. She's planning to start Sunday, June 23rd at 8 a.m. at Long Beach Conservation, end of Long Beach Road. Meet at the west end of the Craigville Beach parking lot next to the beach club. Bring gloves or any kind of grabber you prefer, and trash bags will be provided. Comments, suggestions, accolades, connect with us on Facebook, email us, or send us an old-fashioned note by carrier pigeon. Channel 18 works. For you, I'm Paula Hersey, and thank you for watching Barnstable Today.